Continuing from the previous chapter, after breaking through his seclusion, Xiao Yan began to practice the immortal class combat technique, the seven-layered skybreaker ruler. To his amazement, its power was truly terrifying. Feeling the resonance between himself and the ruler, Xiao Yan nodded in satisfaction. The seven-layered skybreaker ruler was exactly what he needed right now, powerful and perfectly suited to him. What's more, similar to the mysterious heavy ruler, the ancient ruler of heavenly flames could suppress his power. Though this suppression held him back temporarily, once the ancient ruler of heavenly flames was fully unleashed, Xiao Yan's true strength would be revealed. Not bad. To release such a powerful attack on your first attempt. The Golden Dragon King also nodded in approval as he spoke to Xiao Yan. Days passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye, 5 days had gone by. During this time, Xiao Yan diligently practiced the first move of the seven-layered skybreaker ruler. With your current mastery of the technique, even facing a 4-star Do D wouldn't be much of a challenge. You might even be able to deliver a fatal blow. Excellent, excellent, excellent. The Golden Dragon King had been observing Xiao Yan closely as he practiced the first move of the seven-layered skybreaker ruler. He was impressed by the young man's diligence and his deep understanding of the technique, likely due to his prior experience with similar combat techniques. Achieving such progress in just 5 days made the Golden Dragon King view Xiao Yan in a new light. If this kid can reach the 7-star Do D level, he should be ready to try that. The Golden Dragon King thought as he watched Xiao Yan, feeling a newfound sense of confidence in him. Let's practice one last time. With a plan forming in his mind, Xiao Yan began to move once more. In the quiet stone chamber, it was as if the flow of spiritual energy from heaven and earth had halted. With a mighty shout, Xiao Yan shattered the stable space within the chamber using the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. Satisfied with the result, he adjusted the ruler's form slightly before strapping it to his back and repairing the damaged space. After all, this is someone else's training chamber. I can't just leave it in ruins after they've lent it to me, Xiao Yan thought. That kid, the Golden Dragon King, laughed heartily at Xiao Yan's careful demeanor, unable to hide his pride. It was clear that Xiao Yan's character had impressed him. All right, since the repairs are done, I suppose our seclusion is nearly over, Xiao Yan said as he wiped the sweat from his forehead. But you've forgotten something important before we finish. Remember that man in black? As the Golden Dragon King spoke, Xiao Yan noticed a pitch-black scroll in his hand. The one who killed the Mu family? Xiao Yan looked at the Golden Dragon King in surprise, who was smiling. Yes, back then, his ancestor had used him to eliminate that demonic shadow. When he was collecting the scattered souls afterward, his ancestor seemed to have found something, but Xiao Yan had been too exhausted to notice. Now, with the Golden Dragon King's mention, his interest was piqued. The Mu family had dabbled in something they shouldn't have. Surely, that item was no ordinary object. Is this what the man in black was talking about? Xiao Yan asked as he stared at the pitch-black scroll in his hands. Indeed, this is what he spoke of, and it's likely the reason the Mu family was wiped out. The Golden Dragon King replied slowly. In this world, the number of miraculous treasures is beyond count, but everyone knows that possessing such treasures without the strength to protect them only invites disaster. The Mu family was one of many who fell victim to this truth. Take it. Try opening it with all your strength, the Golden Dragon King said as he tossed the scroll to Xiao Yan, clearly intending for him to decipher it on his own. As Xiao Yan held the scroll, he felt an inexplicable, terrifying power emanating from it. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't open it. Seeing this, Xiao Yan understood that this scroll was no ordinary item, but he wasn't entirely without options. He immediately began to channel his vast soul power into the scroll. Bang! A faint vibration came from Xiao Yan's hand, indicating that his attempt had failed. In other words, the scroll had actually rejected Xiao Yan's soul power. This could only mean one of two things. There are two possibilities. Either the creator of this scroll possesses soul power far superior to Xiao Yan's, making his soul power insufficient to open the scroll, or a special method is required to unlock it. Unwilling to admit defeat, Xiao Yan summoned Little E, directing the flames toward the scroll in an attempt to engulf it. Boom, boom, boom. Despite the scorching heat of the heavenly flames, the pitch-black scroll remained completely unresponsive. What? Xiao Yan looked helplessly at the Golden Dragon King. He had never encountered anything like this before. How could such a scroll exist? He couldn't understand it. All right, don't be discouraged. If this scroll could be easily unlocked by you, it wouldn't have drawn the attention of the demonic clan, the Golden Dragon King said, noticing Xiao Yan's frustration. Master, do you have any way to open this scroll? Xiao Yan asked, looking at the Golden Dragon King. Given his master's immense power, Xiao Yan believed he should be able to handle this scroll. I can open it, but if I do, the great opportunity within will no longer be yours, the Golden Dragon King replied with a knowing smile. Huh? A great opportunity? Xiao Yan was confused. He couldn't even open the scroll. So what could this so-called great opportunity be? All right, no need to complain. It's normal that the scroll won't open. To unlock it, you need the power of a sacred flame. So, we need to prepare a pill that can help us absorb the sacred flame. 7 Flame Flower, Rising Sun Pill, Blood Spirit Ice Essence. And based on my experience, this scroll likely contains the inheritance left by an extremely powerful being, the Golden Dragon King said slowly. A sacred flame is needed to open it? An inheritance? Xiao Yan's eyes gleamed as he gazed at the pitch-black scroll in front of him, a subtle smile forming at the corner of his mouth. Once we've taken care of things here, we'll go in search of the sacred flame. With a sacred flame in hand, combined with the heavenly flames you already possess, something very interesting is bound to happen. The Golden Dragon King remarked mischievously, eyeing Xiao Yan. For some reason, Xiao Yan couldn't shake the feeling that he was being led down a path designed by the Golden Dragon King. All right, don't be so downcast. There's still something else that requires your attention. Did you forget about the foundation strengthening pill? The Golden Dragon King reminded him. I'm really curious about what secret master sees in Yuewen to place such high hopes on him, Xiao Yan mused, recalling how his master had often mentioned Yuewen. He knew his master wouldn't deceive him, but what was so special about Yuewen that warranted such interest? Xiao Yan couldn't help but wonder. In that case, let's end our seclusion, Xiao Yan said, standing up and brushing the dust off his body. He then strapped the now slightly darkened ancient ruler of heavenly flames to his back and slowly walked out of the stone chamber. Ah, the sunlight is so warm, Xiao Yan remarked as he stepped outside. It was already morning, and the rays of sunshine gently warmed his body, bringing a sense of relief after the intense cultivation. Young Master Xiao, you've come out of seclusion. The lady instructed me to wait here for you, and to escort you when you emerged, a delicate young maid said respectfully to Xiao Yan. Then I'll trouble you to lead the way, Xiao Yan replied with a polite smile to the young woman. As they walked along the secluded path, the maid led Xiao Yan toward the main hall. Young Master Xiao, you truly are a talented young man. It's no wonder the lady is so captivated by you, the maid remarked as she glanced at Xiao Yan. What do you mean by that? Xiao Yan asked, puzzled by the maid's words. Ah, forgive me, young Master Xiao, but isn't it obvious? It's rare for the lady to be so taken with any man, the maid said gently. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan was taken aback, suddenly realizing why Yuewen had asked him those questions before his seclusion. Sigh. The world is full of those deeply in love, but I already have a family. I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint Miss Yu, Xiao Yan thought to himself. To be honest, Xiao Yan wasn't one to indulge in romantic entanglements. His feelings for Yuewen were purely those of friendship. How could he have anticipated such a complicated relationship? This was truly a headache. Following the maid, Xiao Yan entered the family's grand hall, where Yuewen and Yu were discussing something. Xiao Yan, my young friend, you've come out of seclusion? Yu said with a hearty laugh. It seems that your strength has grown again during this time. Clearly, under the watchful eye of Yu, the head of the Yu family and a 5-star Dodi, it was difficult for Xiao Yan to conceal his power. It's just a stroke of luck, Xiao Yan replied with a smile, but he wasn't too concerned about it. During the time you were in seclusion, that young lady Yuewen woke up once, but since then, she's been in a coma again. Despite us inviting many physicians, none have been able to help. However, we have managed to find some clues about that Emperor-tier dragon-type magical core. It's said that the ruins of a magical beast are about to open, and according to rumors, the Emperor-tier dragon-type magical core is within them, Yu said, sitting in the main seat and looking at Xiao Yan. Magical beast ruins? What is that? Xiao Yan, unfamiliar with the area, couldn't help but ask a few more questions. You all may leave, Yu instructed, leaving only himself, Yu, and Xiao Yan in the hall. Seeing Xiao Yan's puzzled expression, Yu smiled and explained, the magical beast mountain range is a well-known dangerous area near Qingqing in the Xinling continent. For reasons unknown, the area is filled with intense cold, with frigid mists that block out the sun. If you wander around recklessly, you'll get lost in it. Moreover, the mountain range is home to many powerful and unusually bloodthirsty magical beasts, making them difficult to handle. The magical beast ruins this time are located within that mountain range. It's rumored that these ruins contain immortal tier do techniques and countless cultivation methods and pills, but the most important thing is that this time the ruins are different. Those who've gone in to explore haven't been heard from again, and it's unclear what kind of accident may have occurred. Oh, aren't magical beasts and humans natural enemies? How could we humans be allowed to set foot in the ruins within the magical beast mountain range? Xiao Yan asked, confused. Young friend Xiao Yan, you might not know, but the magical beast ruins within the mountain range were actually left behind by a powerful figure who, it is said, harbored a deep hatred for magical beasts. He set up a restriction that prevents magical beasts and any Do-D level experts with a 4-star rank or above from entering. Moreover, the Emperor-tier magical core you need is also inside, Yu added, easing Xiao Yan's concerns. Father, do you know what kinds of treasures might be in these magical beast ruins this time? Yu asked. Yu smiled faintly and said, a long time ago, in the vast heavens of this world, countless powerful beings fell. The essence blood of Do-D level experts that spilled upon the earth transformed into ruins, places filled with wondrous phenomena and brimming with opportunities, attracting countless talents to compete for them. It's because if one can obtain that imperial blood, they can ascend to the rank of an emperor, lay the foundation for sanctification, and attain a tremendous fortune, a great opportunity. In the future, they might even be able to condense an immortal womb, open up their own domain, or perhaps glimpse the profound mysteries of an emperor. Hearing Yu's ancient voice, Xiao Yan felt a bit confused. All of this was beyond his understanding. What exactly is an emperor? Xiao Yan asked with some difficulty. Just the mere utterance of these two words seemed to contain an immense grandeur, causing the primordial energy within his body to quiver slightly. Yu thought for a moment, then smiled and said, that's something far beyond your reach right now. All you need to know is that an emperor possesses the strength of a peak 7-star Do-D. Just one drop of an emperor's blood can turn the seas into barren land. When that emperor fell in battle, his blood and remains scattered across the world, giving rise to various ancient ruins. And here on the Xinling continent, one such ruin lies within the demonic Beast Mountain range, just outside the city. Xiao Yan's pupils involuntarily contracted. After all this talk, it seemed they were finally getting to the main point. Yu smiled. Now, within a 100-mile radius of Qing City, including the surrounding 8 cities, nearly all the young talents are preparing for that ancient ruin, striving to cultivate diligently. I've heard that even the young master from Wu City has been training hard for years just for this, clearly determined to seize this opportunity. Other prominent families and major clans are also sending their most prized prodigies. All of them are vying for the great fortune hidden within that ruin. Once you obtain such a great fortune, even the Xinling royal family will take notice of you and bring you into their fold. The Xinling royal family? Xiao Yan asked in confusion. He had heard of the Xinling continent, that was the name of the land he stood on, but he had never heard of this so-called Xinling royal family. It's normal that you haven't heard of them. Only a few people know of their existence, Yu chuckled. To put it simply, the Xinling royal family is the ruler of the Xinling continent. Their reach extends across the world, while you are but an ant beneath their gaze. Xiao Yan smiled bitterly. Indeed, That level was far too distant for him to even think about reaching. However, after hearing this, Xiao Yan now understood the significance of that ancient ruin. Even the most esteemed prodigies from cities like Wu City and other great clans were coveting it intensely. One could only imagine the kind of fortune and opportunity it held. But if that ancient ruin is so important, wouldn't the various factions send their strongest experts? Xiao Yan suddenly asked. If those cities dispatched Do-Di experts, or even stronger ones, no matter how talented the young prodigies were, they wouldn't stand a chance. The ruin is protected by the might of an emperor. The stronger one's power, the greater the suppression they face upon entering, Yu explained with a smile. Unless those experts don't mind getting killed by some youngsters, they probably won't dare to enter so easily. He stared at Xiao Yan, a glimmer of light flashing in his cloudy eyes as he smiled. My young friend, if that great fortune in the ancient ruin falls into the hands of a prodigy from another city, I can assure you that your chances of obtaining an imperial-grade dragon-type magic core to save someone will become exceedingly slim. Yu paused for a moment before continuing. Of course, with your current strength, competing with those people might be a bit difficult. So, do you have the courage to covet that great fortune? Yu asked with a half-smile, seemingly very interested in Xiao Yan's reaction. Xiao Yan closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. After a while, he slowly opened them, and within his gaze, a sharp light flickered. The prodigies from outside Qing City already had a head start over him. If someone else were to seize that great fortune within the ancient ruin, he would lose the chance to uncover Qing Yuan's secret. Moreover, the responsibilities weighing on him were immense, finding his clansmen, restoring the Golden Dragon King's strength, collecting sacred flames, and most importantly, searching for Sooner and the others. All of this required strength. If he fell behind even once, he would continue to lag further behind. Xiao Yan knew that to heal others, he had to seize every opportunity. Though the ancient ruin would attract countless powerful figures, including prodigies from great families and clans, Xiao Yan seemingly had no advantage over them. However, ever since he arrived on the Do-Di continent and began cultivating the complete flame mantra, he had never lacked courage. With that in mind, Xiao Yan looked at Yu, who was sitting in front of him, and respectfully cupped his hands in a salute. Xiao Yan thanks Senior for your guidance. He felt fortunate to have met Yu here, as it had ultimately prevented him from missing this opportunity to grasp a great fortune. As for this so-called opportunity, I, Xiao Yan, couldn't ask for more. He finished his sentence with a radiant smile on his face. Haha, I knew you weren't ordinary. A person possessing the fire spirit couldn't possibly be a common man. Besides, my daughter also needs something from the ancient ruin. I've already given her the map, so I'll leave her in your care. Xiao Yan, Yu said slowly. Get ready. You'll set out immediately. With that, he walked out of the hall, leaving Xiao Yan and Yu staring at each other. This time, I'm relying on you, Yu said with a slight smile, raising her delicate hand in a small gesture before bowing to Xiao Yan. Thank you, Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan understood her meaning and smiled before leaving the hall as well. The next day, as the news of the ancient ruin spread, the area around it became increasingly lively, with countless factions gathering. They knew that the ruin held many dangers, but at the same time, it also presented great opportunities. If their faction could seize those opportunities, it would be a chance to soar to new heights. In a large city, a line of powerful figures stood in formation, their movements synchronized as if they were waiting for something. In front of them, a formidable figure appeared, causing a palpable sense of tension to ripple through the city. Wu City. Wu City was home to a formidable family, the Wu clan. The Wu clan had focused on cultivation for generations, and through continuous training, the family's strength had grown to the point where it instilled fear in others. Among the younger generation this time, Wu Huan stood out. Despite his young age, he possessed enviable strength, and even among his peers, he was regarded as a top-tier talent. Father, about the ancient ruin this time. In a grand hall, a young man and an older man appeared. The young man couldn't help but ask, Huaner, the ancient ruin holds many treasures, and there's a chance to obtain immense fortune. This could be a tremendous help to you. the middle-aged man said thoughtfully, clearly aware of the anticipation in the young man's eyes. The young man's joy was evident. After all, he had long since defeated all his rivals in this city, yearning for a worthy challenge. Your strength is among the best in this area, but you lack real combat experience. Be extra cautious on this journey, the middle-aged man advised, reminding him that while strength was important, temperament was also essential when venturing out. Father, I will not let you down, Wu Huan declared, his eyes filled with expectation. Without waiting for the middle-aged man to finish speaking, he suddenly leaped forward, disappearing from the high city in an instant, heading straight for the ancient ruin. That boy. I hope he doesn't disappoint me. Watching Wu Huan leave, the middle-aged man smiled with satisfaction. Here's the continuation of the translation. Rumble, rumble. At the same time, in a city not far from Wu City, a place perpetually surrounded by wind and thunder, the entire city seemed naturally fortified and difficult to attack. Young master, the patriarch has asked me to inform you that there are valuable items in this ancient ruin, and it will soon be opened. It's time to depart. Beside a stream in Fenglei City, two women appeared. One of the women was hovering above the stream, with the faint power of wind and thunder gathering at her feet, giving off a formidable aura. Understood. Moments later, the woman in the stream, who had been in a state of cultivation, withdrew from her meditation and slowly responded to the messenger before her. Young master, your strength grows more formidable by the day. Given time, you will undoubtedly become the top powerhouse within 100 miles, the messenger said admiringly. Let's go. I'm eager to meet the young talents from other cities. I hope they won't disappoint me, the woman said, and without waiting for the messenger to prepare, she released her aura and leaped into the sky, heading straight for the ancient ruin. The power of wind and thunder she possessed was enough to make anyone shudder. Roar, roar, roar. Elsewhere, the roars of magical beasts echoed throughout the day, though these roars seemed more like territorial warnings. City of 10,000 Beasts. This place was none other than City of 10,000 Beasts. The so-called City of 10,000 Beasts was a place dedicated to taming and training magical beasts. Here, Douqi cultivation was not the most important. Rather, it was the ability to tame and turn powerful magical beasts into obedient companions, thereby enhancing one's combat strength. This was the origin of City of 10,000 Beasts. And do not underestimate City of 10,000 Beasts. Many of the magical beasts here possessed formidable strength. In fact, many cities' flying beasts were purchased from here, giving the city a rather significant status. Inner, many geniuses will gather at this ancient ruin. Are you confident? In a dungeon within City of 10,000 Beasts, a man and a woman stood side by side, the man speaking first. The man, clearly middle-aged, exuded an aura of immense power, indicating that he was no ordinary person. Even the small ice-blue beast perched on his shoulder radiated a formidable energy. As for the woman, her aura was much weaker, suggesting they were more likely father and daughter. Father, this little beast on your shoulder is so strong, the woman said nonchalantly, her eyes fixated on the ice-blue beast, a glimmer of interest in her gaze. Cough, cough. This is your father's last treasure, the middle-aged man said with a cough. It's called Little Han. It has a trace of the Icewind bloodline, though it's weak. However, combined with what you've learned, it will be more than enough to deal with other strong opponents, the middle-aged man explained. Thank you, father. The woman carefully transferred the little beast onto her own shoulder, and with a swift call, she suddenly vanished from the spot. This girl, the middle-aged man could only smile helplessly. He knew his daughter was playful by nature, but her strength was undeniable. Situated on a solitary mountain in Sword King City, countless peaks echoed with deafening sounds, as if swordsmen were practicing their swordsmanship. At this moment, a man with a heavy sword on his back slowly emerged from the mountains, murmuring to himself, I need a real opponent to temper my swordsmanship. I hope that Wu Huan from Wu City will be a worthy challenger. As soon as he finished speaking, his speed surged, and he shot off toward the ancient ruin. The Snowy Domain family. This family resided in a remote and sparsely populated area, yet their overall strength was incredibly powerful. Tell father, I'm leaving. This time, I will return from the ancient ruin with results that will satisfy me, the woman said, her body radiating a powerful aura as she disappeared in a flash of lightning. The agility of this girl is probably top-notch among her peers. As they watched the woman disappear like a flash of lightning, shock filled the eyes of those below. In another part of the city, a bald man radiating an unmatched aura suddenly leapt into the air, heading straight for the ruins. Meanwhile, various other forces, upon hearing about the ruins, quickly dispatched their disciples in an attempt to seize the so-called Great Fortune. For a time, many powers became embroiled in the scramble, and the entire region buzzed with excitement, all because of the impending journey to these ancient ruins. The usually tranquil magical beast mountain range outside Qing City suddenly became bustling with activity. Everyone knew that the hidden ruins within the mountains were about to open. Let's stop here for a moment and get some food for little E, said a man carrying a pitch-black heavy ruler on his back. After a day of travel, Xiao Yan and Yuewen had reached a supply point on the outskirts of the magical beast mountain range, waiting for the ruins to open. Ever since Xiao Yan learned that little E was a fire spirit, he had gone to great lengths to keep this a secret. He even crafted a 6th-grade transformation pill to help little E change form. Now, the adorable yet fierce little E had taken on the appearance of a small beast. Interestingly, little E had developed a voracious appetite for fire attribute pills and medicinal herbs, prompting Xiao Yan's current errand. Catching little E from his shoulder, Xiao Yan locked eyes with the little beast. After a moment of silent exchange, Xiao Yan sighed in resignation, nodded, and after a quick word to Yuewen, he turned to purchase supplies. The supply point outside the magical beast mountain range had everything one might need, from healing herbs to essential provisions. At the supply area, Xiao Yan listed everything he needed to a maidservant, who then asked him to take a seat while she prepared his order. So, with a slightly disgruntled little E in his arms, Xiao Yan sat down, waiting idly. However, during the wait, Xiao Yan suddenly sensed a strange gaze. He furrowed his brows and turned around, only to be taken aback. Not far behind him stood a young girl with long green hair, staring intently at him. Her big, bright eyes were wide open, and even a bit of drool glistened at the corner of her mouth. Xiao Yan felt puzzled under the intense gaze of the green-haired girl and was about to stand up when she quickly approached him. Only then did Xiao Yan realize that her eyes weren't fixed on him, but on the little E in his arms. What do you want? Xiao Yan asked, eyeing the green-haired girl warily. Wiping the drool from her mouth, the girl's black and white eyes gleamed with intense excitement as she stared at little E. Her sweet voice dripped with honey, sending a shiver down Xiao Yan's spine. Big brother, sell me that little beast. No matter how much it costs or what it takes, I'll pay it. Buy little E? Xiao Yan frowned slightly, then firmly replied, no. He knew just how dangerous the little creature in his arms could be. Xiao Yan was certain that if he even entertained the thought of selling, this tiny beast would lash out in fury, likely maiming him with a single swipe. The green-haired girl seemed anxious after Xiao Yan's refusal. Big brother, please sell it to me. I'll offer 5 million gold coins. Even an immortal class do technique if you want, she added through gritted teeth, her gaze never leaving little E. She stared deeply into little E's eyes, as if she could see through its transformed appearance, her expression burning with desire. While others might not recognize little E's true nature, she had a unique method of discerning the formidable being before her. 5 million gold coins? An immortal class do technique? Xiao Yan was clearly stunned by the girl's grand offer. After all, 5 million gold coins was no small sum, and an immortal class do technique was a priceless treasure. Xiao Yan carefully examined the girl in front of him. Judging by the intensity in her eyes, it was clear she wasn't bluffing. She genuinely had the means to make such an enormous offer. Despite this, Xiao Yan firmly refused. Setting aside everything else, little E had been with him for so long that they shared a bond akin to that of brothers. Besides, little E was a fire spirit with immense potential. Even now, in its juvenile stage, It could rival a 3-star Do D. Who knew how powerful it would become in the future? Repeatedly rejected, the green-haired girl grew anxious, stomping her foot in frustration. A sheen of sweat appeared on her pale forehead as she stared down at her small, jade-like hands. On the back of her hand, a luminous pattern pulsed with an intense heat. This glowing pattern could sense the bloodline of magical beasts, growing hotter in the presence of more powerful bloodlines. The heat she felt now was something she hadn't even experienced when she first acquired Little Han. This meant that the little beast in front of her possessed a bloodline even stronger than that of Little Han, who carried traces of the Ice Phoenix bloodline. For her, this was an irresistible allure. Noticing the pattern, Xiao Yan's memory stirred. The Mo clan on the Doqi continent was known for a transplantation technique that could graft unique features from rare beings onto a person, such as eyes or arms. Xiao Yan couldn't help but grow more cautious around this girl. Sensing the girl's thoughts, the garment over her chest shifted, and a small, ice-blue bird poked its head out from her collar. Its frosty eyes fixed on Xiao Yan, and in that instant, the surrounding air began to freeze. The appearance of this ice-blue bird made Xiao Yan's expression tighten. His spiritual senses trembled, clearly perceiving an intense threat. He shot a wary glance at the bird. It was obviously no ordinary creature. This girl is far from simple, Xiao Yan thought, growing more vigilant. Carrying such a formidable beast with her, it was clear she was no mere bystander. In Xiao Yan's arms, Little Yi's half-closed eyes flicked open slightly as it glanced at the ice-blue bird. Its mouth parted slightly, and a faint black light flickered, accompanied by a low growl from its throat. It had clearly sensed the subtle hostility the ice-blue bird was directing toward Xiao Yan. In response to Little Yi's warning growl, the ice-blue bird flinched, hesitated for a few moments, and then slowly withdrew its head back into the girl's collar. Seeing her most powerful Little Han being cowed, the green-haired girl's expression fell. It seemed that force wouldn't work, so she turned her gaze to Xiao Yan, her eyes pleading. Thoughts raced through Xiao Yan's mind as he gently stroked Little Yi. Finally, he shook his head and said, "If you can see how extraordinary it is, then you should also understand that it's priceless. I won't sell it, so you'd better drop the idea." With that, the maidservant returned with all the items Xiao Yan had purchased. After paying, he stored them in his ring and turned to leave. "If you won't sell it, then I'll just follow you," the girl stubbornly declared. Realizing she was following him, Xiao Yan deliberately took Yuru on a few detours around the area until they finally lost her. This is so frustrating. How did I lose them? That little beast is really something special, the girl fumed, stomping her foot in frustration when she realized she had lost track of Xiao Yan.